Diddy's courtroom behavior didn't just raise some eyebrows, it stunned the entire room. The same man who once commanded stages and boardrooms was now sitting in front of a judge, stripped of his celebrity shine and cloaked in a loud silence. You could feel it. This isn't just a legal trial, it's a performance of power, image, and control. And from the moment Diddy walked into that courtroom, every breath, every blink, every subtle movement told its own story.
This morning, watch how federal agents took Sean Diddy Combs into custody. He's seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others when agents from Homeland Security Investigations approach and separate him. They place Combs under arrest and lead him out the front door in handcuffs. His lawyer said Combs had come to New York 2 weeks earlier with the intention of turning himself in. He did not expect the agents to be waiting at his hotel last Monday night.
This courtroom is not just any courtroom, it feels like a whole different world. Just walking in is enough to make you hold your breath. You're met with silence so thick it almost hums, like the air is warning you to act right. And as you step inside, what hits you first isn't Diddy. It's the setup, it's the energy, it's the weight of everything about to go down. Most of you already know Diddy is facing some serious charges: racketeering, sex trafficking, and transporting for prostitution. The stakes are life in prison, but nothing, and I mean nothing, could have prepared anyone for what he was like inside that room. Strap in. This courtroom drama is about to get wild. This courtroom hits different. Huge space, church pew benches, hotel-style chandeliers, no cameras, no phones, no laptops, just pen, paper, and silence. It feels like you're crashing a space that was never meant for you. And then he walks in. At the center of all this stood the man himself, the music mogul everyone's been talking about for months. But Diddy's entrance didn't turn heads. He didn't walk in like a boss or even like a man fighting for his life. It was quiet, it was casual. It felt like a shrug, like he barely noticed the weight of the room. But on top of that, his whole vibe had changed. It didn't scream Puff Daddy. It barely made a sound. It whispered something different. The aura whispered, Sean Combs, 55 years old, tired and limping from a bad knee. The star power that used to electrify stages was gone. What we saw instead was a man who looked drained, pale, and years older than the legend we remember. And just when you thought things couldn't get any stranger, we moved to the next layer of this wild story. His eyes. Because while his entrance faded into the background, that eye contact, it hit differently. Everyone in the press row felt it. The intense way he looked at people, not in a curious way, not in a confused way, it felt like a challenge. One by one, he stared down faces in the room, not just the attorneys or the sketch artists, the reporters, the court staff, the jurors. That's when the tension in the room took a sharp turn. It was like he was checking the room for weaknesses, testing the waters to see who would flinch, and a lot of people did. The longer you looked at him, the harder it was to hold that gaze. At one point, it got so intense, even the researchers taking notes had to glance away. Now here's where things really get wild. His body language was louder than words. On day one, Diddy walked in with that, I just want to survive this energy. Head down, voice barely above a whisper, and when he finally opened his mouth, all he said was, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm a little nervous today. Believe it or not, that's what left everyone speechless. Not because of what he said, but because it showed just how far he'd fallen from the man who used to run the music industry. The mogul who flexed power with every move was now nervously asking for a bathroom break like a student on the first day of class. But don't get it twisted, that nervous energy didn't last long. By day 2, Diddy started to get his rhythm back. He stood a little straighter, moved a little faster. He even started greeting his legal team with handshakes and hugs like he was back in control. But it was obvious, he was playing the game. Every move felt like it was made to make the jury see him a certain way. Now let's get into something just as revealing, his legal team. If Diddy's image is part of his defense, then it makes sense that even the people representing him had to match the brand. These aren't just lawyers, they're a curated extension of his legacy, handpicked to battle the biggest charges of his life. And when they walked in, it felt like the final boss level had just entered the courtroom. Leading the charge is Brian Steele, a name that already rings bells from the high-profile Young Thug trial. His presence isn't loud, but it's commanding, smooth, strategic, and razor-sharp. Every time a new juror entered, Steele didn't miss a beat. He locked in, scanning their face, their clothes, their vibe, like a general sizing up the battlefield before the war begins. Let's not forget Brian Steele's clean-cut Boy Scout energy. No swearing in court, not even when quoting someone else. He sips water, eats salmon, and taps the table every time death is mentioned. He moves like the courtroom is his gym. tight, focused, and in control. Then there's Mark Agnifilo, another top-tier name on Diddy's roster. He might stroll in looking like someone's overprepared dad, backpack and all, but don't be fooled by the casual vibe. This is the same sharp legal mind who defended the next IBM cult leader, the one slapped with 120 years behind bars. Agnifilo doesn't speak much, but when he does, it hits. Every question is deliberate. Every cross-examination lands like a precision strike. And then there's Tenny Garagos. Yes, the same one who was out here defending Diddy on TikTok before ever setting foot in the courtroom. From the moment she steps in, heels clicking like a drum roll, you know she came to dominate. She's sharp, poised, polished, and completely unfazed by the chaos around her. Like it or not, she knows the stage and she owns it. And to make it even worse for the prosecution, they are up against Linda Moreno, the jury whisperer. This woman is so good at reading people that she once helped get a terrorism suspect acquitted on all charges, allegedly. Linda doesn't just observe, she absorbs. She watches the way jurors breathe, nod, and blink. Every movement tells her something. As you have noticed, Diddy's entire defense team is stacked with people who don't just know the law, they know how to control a room. And this is where it gets even more strategic. Jury selection is like a chess game. These lawyers aren't just focused on the answers potential jurors give. They're watching how they breathe, how they sit, how they shift. Some look like they're overcompensating. Others come off too eager. And then there are those quietly scheming for a seat on the jury, hoping for clout, attention, or influence. There's even a term for them, stealth jurors. These are the ones who lie just to get in on the action, only to flip the whole trial once deliberations begin. They're the wild cards no one sees coming. And here's where Linda Moreno steps into her zone of genius. She doesn't just read the room, she breaks it down into categories. Good jurors, poison jurors, go with the flow types. She knows exactly what to look for, and she's reportedly paid upwards of $1 million to keep the wrong ones out. Her job isn't just about picking people, it's about protecting the entire defense strategy from the inside out. And just when you think jury selection couldn't get messier, this happened. One potential juror turned out to work in publishing at the company preparing to release a tell-all memoir by Al B. Sure, the same man who's publicly claimed Diddy was involved in Kim Porter's mysterious death. That book reportedly includes allegations that mirror the charges Diddy's facing in court. When questioned, the juror claimed she probably wouldn't read it and couldn't recall many details, but her professional connection to the publisher immediately raised red flags on both sides. The overlap was simply too risky. She was quickly dismissed. Another juror, when asked what they remembered most, pointed directly to the hotel footage involving Diddy and Cassie. Some called it disturbing. Others described a woman being dragged. The video had clearly made a lasting impression. And even though Diddy stayed mostly quiet, he showed his discomfort each time someone brought it up. He would shake his head slightly, like he was trying to erase it without saying a word. One observer even caught him adjusting his posture when he noticed the sketch artist drawing him, sitting up straighter, removing his glasses. It felt calculated, as if he knew this drawing would outlive the moment. But this moment was just a glimpse into something much bigger. The footage wasn't just brought up once or twice, it echoed through the courtroom, again and again. And the footage wasn't just some background detail, it became the heartbeat of the room. One juror described the still image of a woman lying on the floor next to Diddy. Another called it a moment of harm. Some jurors visibly hesitated, clearly uncomfortable as they searched for the right words to explain what they had seen. Every time the hotel footage came up in vivid detail, Diddy responded the same way, a slow, subtle shake of the head, like he was silently trying to erase it. But the damage was done. The image had already seared itself into their minds, and when combined with the jurors' words, it only made the atmosphere in that courtroom heavier. Things got tense fast when the judge read out a potential juror's questionnaire that directly accused Diddy of assault and involvement with minors. It was all said out loud, right in front of him, no filter, no hesitation. When the judge asked for clarification, the juror stood by every word. That moment changed the room completely. The energy shifted, and it didn't shift back, and it didn't stop there. A surprisingly large number of potential jurors shared that they had been victims of SA or DV, either personally or through someone close to them. Several broke down or teared up during questioning. Some were excused right away. Others tried to push through, saying they could stay neutral. One juror, a military vet, admitted he'd lean toward the victims. His wife is a uniformed victim advocate. Another couldn't even get the R word out without shaking. A few, including an older woman, said they've blacked out from anxiety when exposed to sexual content. None of this is background noise. These moments show just how much emotional weight this jury is already holding, and opening statements haven't even started yet. But that wasn't all. More subtle moments inside the courtroom revealed even more about Diddy's mindset and strategy. At one point, Brian Steele tapped on an iPad in front of him, turning on the front-facing camera. Diddy picked it up and looked directly into it, like he was checking his appearance just before the jurors entered. Later, while Steele adjusted his blazer, Diddy stepped in and fixed the collar with both hands. It was oddly intimate, and some believe it was no accident, but a carefully timed move meant to shape the optics.